Good morning, everyone. Hopefully I'm not too bright. I turned my light on here. So I hope you are having a fabulous Saturday. It is very rainy and cold here in Austin, Texas. It's been a little cold. It kind of sucks. It kind of sucks that I just actually did this wrong. So I'm going to start over. Good morning, everyone. It is a Saturday morning, still here in Austin, Texas, and it is a wet, rainy, cold one here. It feels colder here than it does in Colorado, and I know they've been in like some single digits, but hey, the show must go on. So I hope everyone is doing well this morning. Today is behind the scenes Saturday here on Keep Up with Mrs. Jones. So I'm just going to tell you a few things that are going on behind the scenes with me, and I'm going to tell you about a moment of realness. And this is why I do behind the scenes, because I want to let you know, hey, I'm just an entrepreneur just like you. There are up moments and down moments. And I'm going to tell you about a moment that I had last weekend when I was talking to my husband, and I was wondering, what is this all for? So let me go ahead and share this out to a couple of folks. Maybe they can join us here on a Saturday. I know everybody's probably somewhere trying to be warm and cozy where I should be, but I don't know, maybe there's someone in the United States that's in a warm spot. I'm not. All right, so let's go ahead and share this out to a couple of folks. So yeah, we're going to do some behind the scenes. And for those of you who are tuning in, watching the replay, listening to the podcast, I am Felicia Jones, budgetologist and solopreneur money management expert, and you are watching Ask the Budgetologist. Now I come to you live every morning, and I answer any questions you have around business budgeting and solo entrepreneurship. And of course, I give you tons of unsolicited financial advice. And what we do here on Saturdays is that we do a little bit of behind the scenes. I tell you my ups, downs, challenges, what I'm working on, all to show you that, you know what, everything's just not a pretty face. It's not just a filter. And I'm just like you when it comes to running a business, still trying to move up, be successful, and figure out what the heck I'm doing sometimes. And what happened was I had a moment of realness. Like some people call it a moment of weakness. I actually call it a moment of realness because, man, things got real really fast. They got real really fast. So I'm going to actually go ahead and share this out. I think I did share this out. I can't even remember what's going on. So for those of you who are tuning in, of course, it's been an amazing week. Go ahead and say hello so I can see who's here. Please share this out to a friend. And what I'm going to tell you is last Saturday, or was it last Saturday or last Friday or last Thursday, something happened. I actually got an email from someone who wanted me to be on a TV show. And to do a financial segment is for an international syndicate. And I'll tell you more about it. I actually said yes to it, but it was one of those things that, you don't get paid for it. Let's just be straight up honest. You're not getting paid. It's only for a few shows, and then we'll start talking money after that. But I was talking to my husband, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to say something, and don't hold it against me. But sometimes I wonder, when is the end point, and when is it all going to turn into something even bigger? And I know it sounds weird because everything has turned into something bigger. Everything has turned into a bigger opportunity. But for a moment, it was like, this is a lot of work. And I just don't know, what is it all for? What does it all mean? When do you say yes? When do you say no? And it was a hard one. It was a hard one for me. And it wasn't like I was excited about it. I mean, for those of you who've been tuning in, I have the interview with NPR next week, which is really cool. It's all like, I'm so excited and so nervous. I don't even know what to say. Hopefully it won't be like that when I do the interview, but it is one of those, I had one of those moments where it was like, man, this is a lot of work. And like I said, I just say things, I'm very honest and open about how I go through this sometimes. And sometimes I just wonder, like, man, this is a lot of effort to get this little bit, you know, and this little bit is amazing because I know a lot of people want this little bit. I want this little bit, but it's like you put in so much effort, so much energy for these little, for the little pieces of fruit. And you're just like, man, like, this is a lot of work. And like, what's going to happen later, or what do I need to do to get to that next level? Because everybody's saying the next level. And like, okay, if staying up late, waking up early is not getting me to the next level, do I need to stay up even later, wake up even earlier to get to the next level? And you know, I call it a moment of, it's not a moment of weakness. And I know some of you are like, you know, I don't want to, it's hard to say it out loud because I don't want to sound like I'm biting the hand that feeds me. But there are moments where it's just like, wow, like this is, all of these opportunities are amazing. They're great, but man, like you got to keep going. And I had a question on the show on Friday. Somebody was like, how many times do I need to put myself out there to be seen, to be heard, to turn a profit and all that stuff? And what I'm learning is that all the time, it is all the time. If you want bigger, if you want better, you're doing this all the time. You're working on it all the time. You are pushing for it all the time. You're being patient all the time. And you will have the moments of like, okay, that was a lot of work. And, you know, it's one of those things. It's like, I don't know. It's like somebody told you just built a house. And then someone says, well, you're not done yet. You still got to go do all this other stuff inside too. And it's like, man, like this isn't enough. And like I said, it was a moment of realness of trying to figure out, what does it all mean? What is it all for? And all of these opportunities, you have no idea. I'm so blessed. And like I tell you, you got to be blessed for the journey, every last opportunity that you're going through, because it's great. But you know what? Sometimes you do have those moments when you're sitting on the sofa of like, okay, what else do I need to do? And you know, it's just being honest. It's just being honest. Now I got to tell you, please, I'm sorry if the video is stuttering. I am doing hotspot. For those of you know, I am in my RV and we are trying out all measures of Wi-Fi and, you know, public Wi-Fi, paid for Wi-Fi, hotspot Wi-Fi. And I think I am stressing out. I'm stressing out everything I have. But so thank you for your patience if the video is a little stuttery. Please let me know. I can't really see anyone over here, so hopefully it's all going very well. But you know, it's behind the scenes Saturday for those of you who are just tuning in. You're not really sure what's happening. I just tell you my ups and downs and challenges just to let you know that, hey, I'm just like you. I'm an entrepreneur, you know, striving for success and achievement just like you. And, you know, and for all of the great moments that are happening in business, in our businesses, there are always the one moment where you kind of second guess and question like, okay, what is this all for? And what more do I need to do? And, you know, and part of my real moment was like, you know, I was telling my husband, I was like, geez, Louise, like if, and the reason why they don't tell you this when you start a business, because you probably will quit before you're ahead. And it's like, cause you know, it's like, I always said, like, nobody told me it was going to be this hard. Like, that's when I have my weak moments. But it's true. It's like, nobody tells you that, wow, you will be putting in a lot of effort for a long period of time. And I know there's the people out there who say, oh no, you could do this in 6 months and become a millionaire. You know what? For those people who have found that, thank you. And I bless you, and I hope you keep going and striving. But I like to say that I'm not one of those. It has taken some years. This will be year 5 of this business, and it has taken a lot of growth, a lot of figuring myself out, a lot of figuring out what I'm saying, what I'm doing. And you know what? And it's taken a lot of patience and a lot of consistency and a lot of pushing to get to that point. So I honor all of you who go through the slow part of the journey. You know, there are a lot of people who are the rabbits. I love the rabbits, the hares, whatever you want to call them. Some of us are just turtles and some of us are snails. So I honor all of you who are just kind of like, I'm trying to figure it out as I go. And you know what? And that the success will come. It really will come. But there are moments of just kind of questioning. And you know, and I was also telling my husband, the other thing, you know, I've always heard this saying, oh, people quit before they even get there. You're almost there. You're almost there. And there is some truth to it, but it's like, it's kind of like when you're on that epic hiking trip and you didn't want to be there in the first place. And in your brain, you heard 12 miles, 16, like I could do it. And everybody said, oh, it's just right around the corner. You're almost done. And it's like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not just around the corner. When is it going to end? And you're in that little moment of like, when is it going to stop? But there is truth to like, you have to keep going because you just don't know. And you're so far in that you can't quit. So for all of you who are having the moments of realness, not a weakness. I actually talked to a friend, this week, you know, we were talking about getting a job and, so stressed out about thinking about the business. I was like, it might be time to do something different. And I know there are a lot of people in our entrepreneurial world who judges you for saying, oh, you're weak, you're quitting, you're a loser. And it's like, you know what? No, you have to do this journey the best way you know how and the best for your sanity sometimes. Because sometimes you don't want to lose your sanity when you're doing all this, because this is a lot of effort and a lot of energy. And sometimes you can lose yourself. You can lose yourself in this journey and in this process, you know. And I have to remind myself, you know, I still have to find my humanness, talk to other humans every now and then, and remember that, you know, there's more out there than just one little blip that I'm seeing right now. Hey, Monique Renee, how you doing? So for those of you who are popping in, thank you so very much. Behind the Scenes Saturday is just where I kind of ramble on the ups, downs, the challenges, just showing you, hey, I'm just an entrepreneur just like you. And I just say the things that you don't want to say out loud. That's okay. That's okay. I just say the things you don't want to say out loud or can't say out loud because, you know, we're trying to put on our game face when it comes to being a successful business owner. But other than that, I will say this journey is amazing. So the good things that are happening, and nothing bad has happened. It's just a moment of, you know, a pity party. You eat some ice cream and you keep moving. And I did have some dairy-free cookies and cream cookie dough ice cream. That solved some of the problems, yeah. But some of the cool things that are going on is that I've actually been offered my second MC gig. So in negotiations around that right now. I'll tell you more about it. So the MC thing is pretty cool. I just lost my light, so you get like darkness. I gotta figure out a power cord for my light. The battery doesn't last very long. So we got to figure that out. But yeah, so I got offered my second MC opportunity. We'll be talking about that. Like I said, I got the interview with NPR coming up on the TED Radio Hour. I think it's going to broadcast in March. It's all around the math myths. I was like, wow, they should change that. Math, M-A-T-H, myths, M-Y-T-H-S. They should probably get a better title because that's too hard to say back to back. But I'm not NPR and I don't make as much money as NPR. But yes, I'm going to be on the TED Radio Hour, so that's going to be pretty cool. And it's all based on my TEDx talk where I talked about all girls are great at math and what we need to do to make sure girls understand that they're great at math so they can become women that are great at math so that they can still be part of technology and all the cool things that are happening in our world. So that's going on, and I will be back home. So as far as all you know, I'm in my RV. This is our first road trip. It has been a lot of fun. It's been very eye-opening. I talked about this on the on the Wednesday show of, sometimes these opportunities make you think differently of how you do things. So, we're doing that, and it's been really cool. Unfortunately, it's been really cold here in Texas. I mean, it's not as, not as cold as like -60, but it's been pretty cloudy. I think we've only had one day of sunlight, and one day it got to about 77, and that was it. Otherwise, it's been like cold and humid and wet. Not so much fun, Texas. I thought you can do better than this. But we'll be home soon, and then I will be back on the road, headed to Las Vegas for the Black Enterprise Women in Power Summit. So I will be coming to you. Road rules apply. Road rules part 1 applies. This is road rules part 2. And coming to you with some behind the scenes of what exactly is going on at the Women of Power Summit, with rooms full of women CEOs. Oh my gosh. I bought some pants and some new shoes for that one, so I'm ready. So I'll be doing that, and then off to PodFest in Orlando. And if you want to do podcast interviews, you want to learn more about podcasting, my talk is about getting on stage and leveraging your podcast. So if you want to do that, meet me in Orlando. Come on, hang out. It's going to be fun. So that's all I have for you. That's all I have for you today. Just wanted to talk to you about, moments of realness when it comes to entrepreneurship. We all have them. I'm hugging you. Come on, bring it in. Bring it in. Big old hug, because sometimes, it gets real. So, big hug for you if you're having quite a few moments of realness, because they can be real. So I thank you so very much for tuning in. Thank you so very much for your patience over the last few weeks. I know it's one of those things I will tell you, the interesting thing about live streaming and a lot of this stuff is that when you kind of don't show up on a consistent basis, you lose a lot of people. And that's okay. I knew that going in, but I had a lot of life happening. So you got to go take care of life, and you know what? You all will come back. But, thank you for your patience. I appreciate every last second, every last, for the 3-second views, the 10-second views, those of you who hang with me all day, those of you who watch the replay. I appreciate you more than you would ever know, in helping me be a part of, helping me on my journey, being a part of this journey. You are the journey. So thank you so very much for tuning in. I appreciate you. I will be back here bright and early tomorrow morning, and we will talk about personal finances. And I'm going to talk about the FIRE movement and the pros and cons and backlashes and up levels that I've seen in the FIRE movement. If you don't know what that is financially independent, retire early. We're going to talk about that because there was a heated discussion that happened last weekend, and a lot of people are not on board with being in the FIRE movement, being financially free and retiring early. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that and explain to you what it means. So take care. Happy budgeting. I'll see you bright and early tomorrow morning. Bye.